The storm did not arrive. It attacked. Rain slammed against the diner windows, like the sky was crying out something it could not hold anymore. Inside, where mornings were usually loud with chatter, only one man sat alone. Rowan Hale, the single father. Exhausted eyes, hard-working hands. He had finally saved enough for a real breakfast after weeks of surviving on cheap instant noodles. He lifted his fork. One bite, just one moment of comfort, but then the door burst open. A woman stumbled inside like the storm had thrown her here. Drenched from head to toe, shaking, her hair stuck to her cheeks. Her presence carried a heaviness that froze the entire room. Her clothes were ripped, her lips were pale. When the waitress whispered what she needed, she barely breathed the words. Help, please. If you believe kindness still matters and if second chances still mean something, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Lonja Tales. Your support helps. Yous keep telling stories that make the world feel a little warmer. Rowan did not know why he stood up. Maybe instinct? Maybe her pain looked too much like the pain he once carried. Or maybe it was his daughter Mira's voice in his mind saying, Daddy, helping someone is like giving them your sunshine, whatever. The reason, he walked towards the trembling stranger and gently placed his plate in front of her. Here, you need this more than I do. Her hand shook as she reached out. She looked more than hungry. She looked broken. She devoured the sandwich as silent tears ran down her face. Mixing with raindrops still clinging to her skin, Rowan's chest tightened. He sat across from her, watching quietly, making sure she would be okay. She finally whispered her name. Era, nothing else. No story, no explanation, no past. Only fear hiding behind her eyes. Rowan did not push. He knew silence. He had lived it. Inside it after Mira's mother died and left him drowning in responsibilities he never expected. Era finished eating, but she did not leave. She stared at the empty wrapper, if moving might take away the small feeling of safety she had found. The storm outside slowed, but her trembling did not. Rowan called Mira's school and said he would be late. Then he offered Era his jacket, even though it left him cold. She tried to refuse, but he wrapped it around her shoulders anyway. Her expression softened in shock. As if kindness were something rare. For an hour, they sat together in the quiet diner. Era slowly thawed, yet fear still flickered inside her. She said she had no money, no phone, no belongings, except a small camera she clutched like her last lifeline. Rowan offered her a ride, but she stiffened and refused in panic. He did not ask why. Instead, he gave her all the spare change he had. Enough for another meal, even though it meant skipping dinner himself. Thank you, she whispered. Her voice cracked in a way that made Rowan's heart twist. When she stood to leave, he felt a strange dread. Like he was watching someone walk into a darkness he could not save them from. She paused at the door, looked back once, eyes shimmering with something he could not understand, and then she left. He never saw her again. Not that day, not that week, not even that month, but the consequences of that morning arrived sooner. 3 weeks later, Rowan received a letter, sleek, heavy, the kind he had only seen rich people get. His stomach tightened. Lawyers did not send letters to struggling single fathers for good news. His hands trembled as he opened it. Mr. Hale, we request your presence at the Ving and Alder firm for a matter of urgent and personal importance regarding Miss Era Ving. Era, the woman from the diner, the one who vanished, the one he could not stop thinking about. He read the letter again and again, then sat on the couch with his head in his hands, trying to make sense of it. Why would lawyers be looking for him because of her? Why him? Why would lawyers want a man like Rowan? Had something happened to Era? Was she hurt? Was he the last person who saw her safe? The questions beat against his chest until his breath came fast and shallow. Fear twisted inside him, but fear could not stop him. He needed answers. The next morning, After dropping Mira at school, he took a long bus ride across the city. The destination was a towering glass building so tall it seemed to swallow the daylight. Inside the lobby, he instantly felt out of place. Business suits everywhere, marble floors that gleamed like mirrors, people who looked like they belonged here. And then there was Rowan, worn jeans, faded sleeves, hands roughened from survival, not success. An assistant guided him to a quiet conference room high above the city. Rowan clenched his fist to stop the shaking. When two attorneys walked in, he held his breath. One placed a thick folder on the table. Mr. Hale, the older one, began. "We represent Miss Raven." Rowan sat up straight. "Is she all right?" "She is safe," the attorney said. "Safe because of you." Relief struck him like a wave, leaving him weak with gratitude, but confusion followed fast. "I do not understand. Why am I here?" The lawyers exchanged a glance. Then the younger one slid a photograph toward him. Era, but not the Era he remembered. In the photo, she was radiant, wearing expensive clothes, standing outside a prestigious art gallery. Her smile was bright and confident, nothing like the trembling woman who had eaten his sandwich with shaking hands. Ms. Ving is a renowned photographer and the sole heir to a significant family trust, the attorney explained. But she has been battling severe trauma after a violent confrontation with someone who tried to exploit both her work and her personal life. After escaping, she refused help from anyone. She cut ties. She vanished. Rowan stared at the table, but she looked homeless. She looked terrified. She was, the lawyer said softly. Trauma can take everything from you, no matter how privileged your life once was. The younger attorney leaned forward. "Mister, when she had absolutely nothing, not even hope, you gave her food. You offered your jacket. You treated her like a person, not a problem. Most people did not do that. You did." Rowan swallowed hard. "Anyone would have done the same." "Most people did not," he replied gently. He had no words. The older attorney opened the folder and slid papers toward him. "Miss Ving instructed us to give this to you. She has admitted herself to a private recovery center. She will not be reachable for a long time. But before she left, she wanted to make sure you knew what your kindness meant." Rowan frowned. "What is all this?" The attorney smiled softly. "It is a full financial grant for you and your daughter. Enough for stable housing, childcare, and 3 years of living expenses while you pursue any training or career you want." Rowan froze. The attorney continued. Miss Ving said, and I quote, "He gave me a meal when I felt like a ghost. I want to give him back his future." Rowan's breath stuttered. His head shook automatically. "This cannot be real. I did not do anything to deserve this." "You gave hope to someone who had lost everything," the attorney said. "Sometimes that is worth more than you think." His eyes burned. He looked away, trying to steady himself. The idea that a simple breakfast, something he barely had money for, had become someone's lifeline felt unreal. But the second chance she was giving him felt even more impossible. A chance to give Mira the life he always wanted for her. He left the law firm holding the folder like it was made of light. Outside, the sun gleamed across the buildings, warm and steady. For the first time in years, Rowan did not feel crushed by survival. He felt grateful, determined, ready. Months passed and his life changed quietly but completely. He and Mira moved into a safe little apartment where the roof did not leak and the walls did not shake when the wind blew. Rowan enrolled in a training program for technical drafting, a dream he had once buried under bills and exhaustion. Mira grew happier with new books, new friends, and a father who no longer looked tired all the time. And once in a while, Rowan returned to the diner. He sat by the window where Era had once shivered in the storm, hoping that one day she might walk in again, healed, stronger, smiling for real this time. He did not know if she ever would. But he did know one truth dot in a world full of noise, small. Sparks of kindness could still bridge the distance between despair and hope, even when no one sees it. If this story touched your heart like it touched ours, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Wanja Tales. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful life-changing stories that remind us compassion still matters.